morning and welcome to The Big Story on Daybreak Live Extra. As Nigeria moves steadily towards another electoral cycle, the Independent National Electoral Commission, Inec, says it has recorded a surge in new voter registration across the country. On the surface, that looks like a win for democracy. More citizens getting ready to decide their own fate. But beyond the numbers lies a more pressing question. Is the system truly prepared to handle this growing voter population? From logistics to technology, credibility to transparency, concerns are already being raised. So today, we ask this question. INEC records massive new voters, but is the system truly ready? I am Samson Balogun, and thank you for joining us. Recent updates from INEC suggest that Nigeria's voter register is expanding significantly, with millions of new voters added during the last continuous voter registration, CVR. This pushes the country's total registered voters base closer to and to possibly beyond the 90 million mark, up from the 84 million recorded before 2023 general elections. So, on paper, this is a strong indicator of increasing political awareness and civic participation, especially among young Nigerians. However, the growth also raises serious questions about preparedness. So, can the existing infrastructure, both human and technological, handle this increasing number without compromising efficiency? Even more concerning is the issue of voter register verification, a critical step meant to clean up the database before removing duplicates, underage registration, and other irregularities. That process, which many stakeholders expected to be robust and transparent, has reportedly been shelved or delayed, raising eyebrows among political observers and civil society groups. So, this comes against the backdrop of past electoral complaints, ranging from beavers glitches to delayed result uploads, issues that already tested public confidence in the system. So, with more voters now in the system, the stakes are even higher. So, will INEC rise to the occasion, or are we heading into another cycle of avoidable challenges? These are the questions we are going to ask on this show this morning. And I am joined by a seasoned public affairs analyst, Afolabi, with whom we'll be making sense of the current situation, increased number of voters. Do we have the capacity to get it done in 2027? Afolabi, thank you for joining us.
Wonderful morning to you, my brother. And good morning, Nigerians. Happy weekend.
All right, it's a beginning of the weekend for some of us, but then for some, this is their own Monday. So it's safe to say that the weekend is not here for some people.
Yes, it's here for me anyway to rest.
Okay. Now let's talk about Nigeria. Yeah. Let's talk about INEC. Let's talk about the preparedness ahead of 2027 general elections. We have new number of voters, which may have well been pushed beyond the 90 million mark out of 250 million people. Still poor, but then it's an upgrade on what we used to have.
Yes.
But people have argued that yes, we have registered more voters, but the database we currently have is riddled with a lot of irregularities. We have people who have actually passed on. They are dead, but they are still on the voter register. We have people who are too young to be on the voter register, and they are there. Those are the underage voters. Yes. And some complaints were made in the north during 2023, 2015, 2023, and other elections that we have conducted in the past. We've got some people who really have no business being on voter register. And also, some are said not to be Nigerians, but they are on the Nigerian database as voters. So, do you think even now that we have more voters, do we have the capacity to pull off one of the biggest and the fairest elections in history in Nigeria?
Thank you very much for that wonderful critical question that you've asked there. These are questions Nigerians are asking INEC to put up a clarification on and give us a good answer Yes, like you rightly said, we've had people who have passed on between 2015 to 2025 and 2026, whose names are still on the database of Inec, has not been removed. We also have the underage. We also have those who are already critically ill and cannot even appear for election. We also have those in the prison and many others like that. And then you see the number growing and growing every day, and they tell us this number has grown beyond the expectation. But I tell you that is not absolutely true. I expect that by now, the INEC, using the current technological advancement that we have now globally, use it to reshuffle the numbers and technically see those who should not be on the database. And by this, I will say very frankly that I don't see our INEC very ready for the coming election. And that we will see from the recent developments by shutting down the server and asking Nigerians to, giving Nigerians the inability to continue the registration on the base, on the server base. I will tell you that I've personally been on that server base for a reason to change my voting polling unit to another polling unit. I've been able to see the way and manner it has been done. I also observed that in that last election, there are some polling units that needed to be expanded. You know, there are need for some polling unit to be created such that they will not have too much of people in a particular area. And then there are also some wards that needed to be added to some local governments. You know, some local governments are still dealing with 10 wards, and they should be on 12 wards because of the numbers of the people that are presently voting.
They keep expanding.
They keep expanding. Like in those local governments, they keep expanding. There are places that the voting polling units can never get to.
Is it that it's a norm in Nigeria that we fail to talk about future expansion in anything?
That has to do with administrative experience, you know, administrative factor. If our administrators understand that the need for the one thing that is constant.
10 wards 30 years ago, 10 wards
till now,
after that.
2026 is wrong. They keep expanding. You imagine Ido local government from Ido itself, Ido, Eruwa, Eleyele Road, down to Elebu End Extension, down to Bakatari, down to, and you ask yourself where, and
they share boundary with Ibarakpa.
They share boundary with Ibarakpa. They also share boundary with Abeokuta. And Owode Kila End. These are where the Ido local government gets to, and you still maintain the norms, the normal 12 wards, which would have been expanded before now. Even their polling, some areas does not have polling units. It's about 10 streets does not know they don't have a polling unit. They need to travel out of their streets to another street, and that tells you why we need to have upgraded our system before now. And I think this is part of what INEC should be looking forward to, not to wait till the electoral day and now be telling us some people can move here. So in the last election I observed in Ibadan Southwest local government Ward 12, where I voted last, I observed that the particular unit has been broken down and created a sub-unit, a sub-polling unit for that unit, but was taken to another place where people did not recognize it. They don't have the awareness before then. It was on the election day that we got to know that some people can as well move towards a particular end to go and vote. And that
they had no prior idea.
No prior idea.
So this increase, how significant is the increase when compared to Nigeria's existing voter register? And should Nigerians be excited or worried about this surge in voter registration?
This surge does not make meaning to me. To me, the surge is just like a paperwork. Somebody coming to tell us that, oh, we've gotten an increase in voter registration. But when we put it down to a technical summary of it, okay, from where, from which end, which state is having the highest number of voter registration? Which ward are we having the highest number of voter registration? Is it where we have people running away from the local government? From Ilorin, a particular local government has decreased right now because of bandit attack.
The whole community has been sacked, deserted.
Are you telling me these people too have also gone on the portal to register more? A particular area in Borno is still boiling. Some areas in Kano are not finding it easy. Zamfara is on rest. Are you telling me these areas too have increased in voters registration? Will you tell me by next year that we'll be voting, you'll be telling me this place is recording 1.2 million voters? How have we been able to deal with the underage that we witnessed in 2015, 2023? What happened? So these are the, if you want to tell me that let us have the analysis. Don't just give us a surprise a breaking news. A surge in the Inec registration portal has shown that we have.
So is it safe to say that we are expanding the voter register faster than we are expanding the infrastructure?
That is just the truth.
And technologically and realistically, is Inec prepared for all of this?
To tell you the truth, Inec is not prepared. Yes, some money has been devoted for this particular exercise. And I'm waiting to see how Inec will judiciously utilize them.
Some say elections in Nigeria are too expensive. Are you of the same school of thought?
Yes, it's too expensive. With the modern technology that we have globally, we don't need all this that you are talking about. If we can utilize the technology that we have, and our network service provider can be everywhere, well, we don't need all this. Okay, right now, like you are telling me that the voters registration have increased, I should be able to go on the portal and be able to click on the particular link that will tell me the state that is increasing, and tell me the place that is decreasing, and tell me the wards that is increasing, and tell me the polling unit that have increased too. And that way I can tell you that, okay, yes, with what I have seen, with number of people that have registered in this area, Ekiti is likely to give us a triple number of what they've given in the past. Because in the last election, the voters registration that we had in Ekiti, in Ondo, is not much, like where you will compare to Ibadan or Lagos State. And that is where we can now, okay, which of the local government has given us has registered more? Where are we getting more awareness? Where are we not getting awareness? So that some volunteer organization can also come up to say, we want to take this up. If this election is part of our future, that will determine our best education, that will determine our health facility system, that will determine our security system, that will tell us who give us the best leader, where do we get the best leader in Nigeria, that will tell us how our future will be, that will also make us to be known globally, that will give us a good brand. Because everywhere you go now, right now in Nigeria, you are if you are not tagged a terrorist, you are tagged another name that will not be comfortable with you. Somebody wants to look at you and say, where are you from? Immediately you mention the name Nigeria, they look at you with another eyes, as if something is, if it's not in your pocket, it's in your belly or it's in your head. And that tells us the difficulties we face outside the country. Right now, US is not a go area for anybody coming from Nigeria. And why should that be? Because of the terrorism and the bad leadership that we have. Not that we cannot kill this the terrorist attack or bandit attack that we are having, but because we don't have a good leader. If our election has been conducted in a more robust manner, then we know where we get the leader from. We know who we are voting for. We know that our voters, our vote is actually counting. We know that when we vote at a particular polling unit, it is actually being transmitted into the CVR directly. And whatever we voted here is what we are seeing on the screen or even on the portal. It's not that when we vote here, we see something else there.
If you say votes do not count in Nigeria, then why do they buy it?
Because they understand that, like Baba said, you can only rig where you are popular. That give that
it means if politicians come out to buy votes, it means it does count.
It does count, but the truth of the matter is that the awareness is not there. You can understand what is going on in Nigeria. Like some party now has already given the price tag for their party form. And you can see that
AAC says it's 2 million.
Some
AAC, Election Rest Party. Expect that 2 million.
Yes, if it's 2 million, it's not bad. But a party is giving its own out for 20 million just for an House of Assembly member, and a 200 million for a presidential, a 150 million for a governor, and 100 million for a House of Assembly and for National Assembly. And that tells you if that person will, if with 1 million, it can easily be counted, in terms of 1, 2, 3, and you can go straight and get to 1 million within a short minute. That tells you that the Naira is already devaluated. This morning, we are also getting the news that our petrol pump price may get to 2,000 Naira. And we are here. It is because of the leadership. And that is why the Inec is very important to everybody in the country, if we understand what we are doing. So that is the area I want to tell you that if I don't see Inec prepare in this area. Their awareness is not there. Their awareness is not there. They can give us this number, but to me, it is not realistic. This number is just a number.
So we talk about this before we move on. You just mentioned that a political party, most likely the APC, pegged the form for presidential candidates at aspirants at 200 million naira. And an average president in Nigeria, as we speak, get the monthly salary of just over a million naira. That's 1.1 million naira. 1,171,568 naira per month. But basic salary is 292,000 naira. And 200 million naira, I mean, you cannot make that back in 4 years. So why the pressure? So a lot of things to still be discussed. But away from there, let's talk about pressure points for INEC. So where are the pressure points likely going to be for them going into the next elections and their preparedness? Talking about polling units, you just mentioned polling units. Are we to talk about IREV, beavers, devices, or manpower itself? Yes. And even logistics.
The pressure point are the states that are not safe. What are they doing about states
locations too
that are not safe? The locations. Are we sure that the manpower that we used a year was? INEC recruited the Nigerian Youth Service Corps members to act as electoral officers and support manpower for an election. And some of them came back with, in a body bag. And it was so devastated that nothing was done as a country. And that situation is still on ground. Are we saying that the people that will be recruited this time around will be safe? Look at what we are experiencing right now. The likes of Borno. Borno still remains a state in Nigeria, with the likes of Zamfara. The likes of Ilorin, a particular local government is already deserted. How do we conduct election in this area? What are the mechanisms on ground? Where are the security men that will go with us? Are they really security men? Can we beat our chest and say these ones will give us the best if they go with these people to this polling unit? What is the position of the server? What is the network position of those systems or the mechanism, the machine they are bringing in? Can we be sure that when you get to the polling unit and you want to check your thumb printing as to ascertain that you are the person that want to vote, the machine will not reject you? Remember the last election, we have such problem, and they were telling us that they need to bring a paper that we can assign and this and that. And at the end of the day, when the election was counted, where we expect 300 to be uploaded, we got 258. Some areas we got above the numbers that were voted at the polling points. So these are many others that we are expecting that it should have been put in place before then, because these are the areas that INEC will be finding it difficult to show and get us that they are really ready for this election.
Now that brings us to the integrity of INEC as a body.
Sure.
And going into the next election, without proper verification, how vulnerable is the system on the issues of duplicate registration or underage voting? That is one. Two, do you think INEC is being totally transparent with the current voter register they have at hand? Or is there a specific reason why they spoke about a cleaning of the voter register?
Well, the first election INEC will be conducting under the new administration is that of Osun State. And we are all waiting. Remember, Osun State is one of the technical areas, also having some very...
it's a very odd zone right now.
Yeah, it's an hot
sitting governor who left his party to another political party with strong backing from some people, while the APC is also fielding a candidate.
Yes.
The PDP seems to be the weakest of the top three in Osun State.
So, but I tell you that there are still some areas in Osun State where INEC is yet to get to. And they also are eager to vote. You know, they also want to vote. And this election will be testing the credibility of INEC. If INEC is not partisan, if INEC has not been polluted, if INEC has not been infiltrated to give us a wrong result as what we never expected. So we are looking at INEC. This is the first examination for INEC, after which we will move to Ekiti. But let me tell you, in the area of underage voters, we don't used to have that in the Southwest here, because we are the people that we call open your eyes. You know, we open our eyes and we are so conscious of the fact that this is very important to us, and we don't want to have the past experience of Operation Wet here that our forefathers experienced as the result of misunderstandings and political battles. We also understand that we set the pace here in the South, and we also believe that whatever we are able to bring out is what we have already agreed upon. So we know where Inec should go to and clean up the data about the underage of voters that has been recorded, because I don't understand. Then again, it's about this voting, this registration of that affect the religion. You know, some people their religion allow them to cover their faces, and they need to register. I don't know how INEC will somewhat be able to give us the accurate result in the area of registering such kind of people when to get to that zone. Because if a man decides to cover his face and pretend to be a woman, how do you detect that? How do you detect that?
What if you speak?
What you speak? So do you mean
when
that
they ask you questions and you have to talk?
And you have to, and even if you talk and you can squeeze your voice, and you can change your voice. So these are the challenges INEC will be facing over that kind of areas, and I felt that if they really mean business, we can all get it right.
Okay, now this takes us to one very big question. Since you have spoken about some issues Nigeria has faced in the north when it comes to voter registration, some say the effort to conduct another population census since 2006, it's usually meant to be every 10 years. So one was meant to be had in 2016, but it was not. It couldn't go ahead. They couldn't go ahead with it because they had to postpone.
Even though they did, even though they budget money for it.
Right. 2026 again, Nigerians expected. It was postponed to 2017, 2018, and then nothing was being said about it. And now this is 2026, and we still do not have any green light about population census. Are some people scared that by this time in the age of technology, if population census is conducted with technology, then the figures will be clear?
Yes. That is just exactly what we are talking about. The NIN is one technology we can make use of. Everybody have the national identification number.
Not everyone.
Not everyone. But for those who could have it, and we also have a substantial amount of people with phone numbers. You know, there is no amount of phone numbers you have one NIN attached to it.
Right.
And that tells you that you already been captured. Now let us now go down to those people who does not have at all. That this is a very little amount of numbers that does not have at all. And the children, let's say the children from age 13, 14 downward. And we can now look at how far we can go about this. You see, that is why we said voting can be done in a way that will not cost us much. Since the people that will vote are between age 18 and above. 18 and above, most everybody, about 85% of them are making use of phone call. They are with their NIN already. They may have not all of them, if not all of them, will have opened an account one way or the other, even if it is just the fintech. And that is where we can get it right and reduce our cost of voting. And that is what we are expecting. Even the registration of a team, the voting at each polling unit can still be done as people vote. It gets to the server. It gets to the system. You don't need to be panicking. Some people will come with the intention of destroying the polling unit so that they can cut away the polling box, and then destroy the fate of the polling process. And so the number they are expecting for that area, because see, our politicians are so cunning in this country that they know the weak points. They know how our people are afraid. They know how to create fear. They also understand that a particular polling point can give out a such number that will deal with all others. Remember the last 2015 election? Was it 2015? Yes, it was 2015 election, when we have to wait for a particular zone in Oyo State for the result to come in. Until the result comes in, then it changed every other result. It changed the entire narratives.
That was Ogbomoso.
And that was Ogbomoso. And you now tell me that Ogbomoso has not increased more than that by now. You know, that is just it. Even the people in Okeogun have increased. Right now, they are also having university in Okeogun. They started lectures. Students are moving back down to that place. The business activities in that place will have increased a little bit. It's booming. And that tells you that a population of that end will be increasing. That technically without getting a mathematician to come and tell you what is going to happen. So these are the areas we want Inec to tap into and make use of the facilities and boost our result in the electoral process.
Okay.
Simple.
Talking about technology, with the kind of backlash and complaints, the problems faced with the use of beavers in the last election, and do you think Nigerians can trust beavers going into the 2027 general elections to conduct an election? That is one. Two, do you think there's a problem with the technology itself or how it is being deployed and managed?
I don't see any problem with the technology. I only see problem with people that are managing it. Beavers have no problem. We can still trust beavers if we are ready to make use of it. We will not trust the paperwork because the paperwork can easily be changed. I have witnessed and monitored election in the past. I've seen where it has been written in a particular paper, signed, and then changed in another paper, signed. And that is just it. But if it has to be beavers, immediately it's uploaded, everybody see it on their phone. You just go to the, I have registered on the Inec portal the last election, and as it was being uploaded, I have my opportunity to always check. At a point, I see that some will be uploaded and immediately deleted. So what happened? Who did that? Will you say, because if you want to capture it, somebody is with the technology. The technology will not just do it itself.
It was uploaded.
It was uploaded.
And then deleted.
Then
what will happen after that?
Another thing was uploaded different from what was...
So different results will be uploaded later.
Another result was uploaded different from what was deleted.
Now, you can now trace it back to the result sheet you signed.
Yes. The results...
Were the signatures also forged?
Oh. You see, there are some political parties in those days that they just formed in order to support a ruling political party or a kind of political party that everybody will have to agree in order to win.
So you agree that some political parties are also complicit in all of this?
They are, and that is where I am, for a reason, looking into the new Inec Act, you know, the Electoral Act, the new Electoral Act, to see if this can go, can have can see the green light, can have that can go through, can pass through. Maybe some of these parties will die naturally because they don't need to exist. Some parties then, you just see that they don't have anybody to come and vote at their polling unit. They only have their agents. And at
some don't even have party agents.
If some people don't even have party agents, and you just see that the people collecting the numbers will just be adding those numbers from those end to the one that I don't understand. You know, and that's why when you see the result of some polling units, you ask, do you only have two people that are two party at this polling unit? It's a lie. Some people come and vote, even in those days, AD, just vote AD. They don't want the two party. It is normal to have some people who will not be fine with any of the ruling party whatsoever. They want to be different. They have their reasons. But you know, you also see that those polling agents will be adding their own number because it is lesser to one that is, they felt that they will have been bought over, and they adding it to the one that is higher. And before you know it, that was what happened to the one I saw that was formerly uploaded and deleted.
Okay, now let's now talk about, if we have spoken about Inec and how prepared they are, and we see that there are a few gray areas to be addressed going into the 2027 general elections. But beyond Inec, are other stakeholders like security agencies, political parties, and judiciary prepared for an election of this magnitude?
Can we take it from one after the other? Now let's take it from Nigerians. Are we also prepared? How well do we have about the new Electoral Act? Do we understand our polling units? Do we know that the word is very important? Do we understand that this Inec, or the election of a team, is a decider to our future? It determines the kind of health facility we get, the good leaders that we are all praying for. It determines how educated our sons and daughters will be. It also has to tell us how important we be globally. So if we are not prepared, then there is nothing INEC can do. Our security agencies. The security agencies are also part and parcel of the society. They are persons that should also be on ground to put in their strength to see that, yes, where the ballot box is going is where it's going. is not in another place. Because we've seen in the past that even when you see they are designated the ballot box to a particular polling unit, they diverted it to another place. Or even after the election, they are supposed to go to the collection center, and the vehicle is tilting or driving into another place, and in that vehicle you have a security agent, and the agent is keeping quiet, all because he only need to receive order from above, and that election will be manipulated. We also have a judicial system which has been polluted. In short, our judicial system is said to be so very rich during electoral process at the outcome of every election in Nigeria, because that is where we see filing of cases of those who know that they cannot win an election, but they want to just file a case and to delay and also to deny the right of Nigerians after the election. You know, these are part of what has been the case, the challenges that we are facing. Our judicial system should be separated, independent.
How?
How? Yes. Because they are the last hope of the masses. They are the one that will tell us this person never conducted any primary before going to file up itself as the candidate. They are the one that will tell us that this polling unit has issues. These are the original documents that was signed before the election, signed and dated. These are the witness. Then if that paper is what will carry the numbers of voters, then it should be the same paper that was initially signed before the election. But you find that you will not get that paper anymore. These are the people that should be able to give us what exactly is and not delay judgment. And that is where you say somebody who lost an election or who got there by manipulation, staying more than expected, because immediately the person got sworn in. He will not be using his own money again to pursue his case. He will be using the people's money. He will be there using the people's money, and then you already know the judge. You already have the best lawyers. You already have the best son. And that man who won in a rightful manner will be now looking for where to get money to look for a best lawyer to get that is how we
get back his mandate.
Get back his mandate. And you to be rolling over 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and by the time you know it, the man is almost done.
So,
before the judgment
lastly, before we go, in just 1 minute, is there a particular lesson you think Inec should take away from the last election that should not be ignored?
2015 election is one lesson I want this Inec to go back and review and learn so much from. The Inec returning officers who died with his entire family, the result, the story, and that scenario is still legal on. And everybody will never forget in a jiffy. I hope present Inec administration understand what happened. The next one is this last election, where we have manipulated polling units. I hope Inec is taking a cue from that last election. And also the preparedness of the so-called electoral officers, that is the youths, Nigerian youths that will be recruited to do this job. Our scenario of 2011 is still there. We can't just forget in a jiffy. Many of our Nigerian youth service corps members come and the entire nation was thrown into mourn, and the government did absolutely nothing. So I want INEC to look into this to get a good security for those officials that will be working, get the people well aware on time, and get the officers' welfare package very ready. Not that they will be working and their pay is not ready, and also the security be assured of their pay too, because they are not just working for the Nigerian police, they are not just working for the Nigerian army, they are working under the budget of the Nigerian Electoral Commission, and that alone should not be taken for granted.
All right, Afolabi, thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
This morning. It has been a wonderful session with you. Now, if some Nigerians have paid the ultimate price just by serving the nation, and the whole world moved on like nothing happened, then it's a case of, should we be encouraged to sacrifice the next time? It's one big question we are going to ask again on this show, maybe some other time. But it has been a critical conversation here, and one that goes to the heart of Nigeria's democratic future. We say a big thank you to my guest this morning, Afolabi Afolami. He's a public affairs analyst. He has helped us unpack the implications of these developments, what the numbers really mean, the risks involved, and whether Nigerians can trust the system heading into the next election. Stay with us as we continue to ask the hard questions and demand answers that matter. Up next is Trend Watch. Samsi Balogun is my name.